Arahato
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
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 Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so we continue. Also, today will be the last class before the summer break. Okay, so do you have any information after summer who any lecturer is taking over, or just until the exam?
No, we haven't had anything.
Okay, so Rahul, you go and ask Pante Devananda. How is it? Okay. Okay, so this is the last lesson. I will just choose those important one. So to have a read of it. Okay. Who can start reading?
Okay, I'll do.
Okay, please. Yeah, okay, thank you.
The Jains are the followers of Vardhamana Mahavihara, who systemized the doctrine of the three Tirthankaras, founders of the path, Rishabha, Ajtanata, and Aritanemi, all of the ancient dates mentioned in the Yajur Veda. The Jaina system does not accept the authority of the Veda. It commands the truth of its system on the ground of its accordance with the reality. Its scheme of the universe is said to be grounded in logic and experience. Its central features are its realistic classification of beings, its theory of knowledge with its celebrated doctrines of Shadadvada, also known as Satibhangi, and its ascetic rules. Jain's philosophy. The Jain philosophy bases its doctrine on the absolute necessity of conquering the lower nature for the realization of truth. Jainism divides the whole universe into two main divisions, sentient beings, Chetana, also called Jiva or soul, and non-sentient things, Jada, also called Ajiva or non-soul. Soul is that element which thinks, knows, and feels. It is a divine element in the living beings. The true nature of the soul is right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct. The soul is undergoing evolution and in evolution, so long as it is subject to transmigration. Whatever is not soul is non-soul, ajiva. The combination of the jiva and the ajiva cause all diversities in this universe. Their interaction or interplay is the cause of the world process or evolution. When the soul is stripped of all its ajiva bondage, it becomes pure and attains its ultimate mukti.
Okay. Can one more paragraph? Quite good reading.
The etymological root of anekatvada lies in the compound of two Sanskrit words, anekakanta, manifoldness, and vada, school of thought. The word anekata is a compound of the Sanskrit negative prefix and eka, one, and anta, attribute. Hence, Anekanta means not of solitary attribute. The Jain doctrine lies a strong emphasis on samyaktva, that is, rationality and logic. According to Jains, the ultimate principles should always be logical, and no principle can be devoid of logic or reason. Thus, the Jain text contains deliberative exhortations on every subject, whether they are constructive or obstructive, inferential or analytical, enlightening or destructive.
Okay, thank you. So let's have a study. Okay, Jaina's Mahavira Vardhamana is the founder of Jainism. Okay, so their doctrine is talking about the Tirthankar founders of the path. Okay, so these are the terms of the Yajurveda. So they also borrowed some terms from the Yajurveda, but they don't recognize the Veda authority. So although they borrowed some terms from the Yajurveda, they were against Veda by creating their own system to explain the reality. Okay, so their reality is must based on logic and experience. So this is very different from Brahmanism. Brahmanism somehow there's no logic and experience, no experience. Experience means through yoga, through cultivation, you experience something and oh, this is the truth. This is called assess the reality through experience. But Veda Brahmanism doesn't have these kind of features. They just, okay, the rituals like that, just pray to God, God is like that. The legend, is like that. So somehow that it does not involve any logic in their original thing, except for their Upanishad, right? The Upanishad still got some philosophical thinking. So there are some similarities and dissimilarities. And the Jainism, they classify things into, okay, two things, the sentient being and the non-sentient being, okay, jiva and ajiva, with soul and non-soul. 日本語で無常と、無常ね。So what they are thinking is about the soul is the element to think and know. Okay, so this is very easy to understand. The true nature of the soul is right knowledge, right faith, right conduct. The soul is undergoing. So this is the key point here. The soul is undergoing changes, evolution and involution, changes outside or inside. Through the transmigration. Okay, transmigration in 日本語で生まれ変わる生まれどっちかな
生まれ変わる。
生まれ変わるね。生まれ変わる。So, through the 生まれ変わる, after die, born again, after die, born again, after die, born again, many changes of life. 生まれ変わってから, this soul will undergo some changes externally or internally. This is what it means. Okay. So whatever is not soul, it is non-soul. So if something that has no soul, something that it is not soul, confirm that this thing is a non-soul object. For example, human is a soul object. Tiger is a soul object. Table has no soul, so table is non-soul, ajiva. This is how they classify things in the universe. So with soul one, they need to go undergoing evolution and involution through transmigration. So the combination of jiva and ajiva will cause all the, what you call, the possibilities of the universe. And the interaction and interplay, the cause of world process evolution is easy. When the soul is stripped of all is ajiva bondage. Okay, this is another important point. When the soul is stripped of means when the soul is free of all ajiva attachments, shuchaku. So if the soul is free of all shuchaku, all the attachments, ajiva attachments, and then this soul will become pure and you attain the ultimate mukti. Okay, mukti is the what you call the liberation. Okay, the mukti, moksha. Okay, almost the same thing. So this is the concept of attaining what you call liberation. This a bit same with Buddhism. Okay, Buddhism of course has no soul, but when we when we what you call disentangle our mind from all the samyojjanas, all the afflictions, and we attain bodhi, okay, enlightenment. So this is a bit the same, but except the concept of soul, okay. Philosophical overview. So philosophical overview, there's a very famous term called anekantavad. Okay, so aneka is negative r plus eka, one, plus anta, attribute like appearance. 体相有のそうね、日本語って。So anekanta means not one. Solitary means one. Okay, not of one attribute. Means that what it's trying to mean that this world, this universe, is not only made out of one attribute. There are many attributes, many things in the universe. This is what it means. This is called anekanta. Okay, what is the sets, school of thought sets. The Jain doctrine lays strong emphasis on samyaktva, means that anything they say must based on rationality and logic. So in their what you call their documentations, they emphasize about logic. Deliberative exhortation. Deliberative means なんとか検討討論とかね、討論。Okay, next one. Who want to read?
Okay, I will read. Jain doctrines of relativity. Anekantavad is the one of the three Jain doctrine of relativity used for logic and reasoning. The other two are Sayadvada, the theory of conditioned predications, and Nyadavada, the theory of partial standpoints. These Jain philosophies concepts made important contribution to ancient Indian philosophy, especially in the area of skepticism and relativity. Anekvada, one of the most important and fundamental doctrine of the Jainism. It refers to the principles of pluralism and multiplicity of views points the notion that truth and relativity are perceived differently from diverse point of the view, and that no single point of view is the complete truth. The origins of Anekvada can be traced back to the teaching of Mahavir, the 24th Jain Tirthankar. The dialectical concept of Sayadavad, conditioned viewpoints, and Nyavad, partial viewpoints, arose from Anekvad providing it with more detailed logical structure and expression. The Sanskrit compound and ek antavad literally means doctrine of non-exclusive or multiple viewpoints. Un means not, ek means one, vad means viewpoint. It is roughly translated into English as a non-absolutism and ekanta, uncertainty, non-exclusively is the opposite of ekanta, ek plus ant, exclusively, absolutely, necessity, or also monotheist doctrine. Anekavada encourage its adherents to consider the views and beliefs of their rivals and opposing parties. Proponent of the Anekavada apply this principle to the religion and philosophy, reminding themselves that any religion or philosophy, even Jainism, which clings to dogmatically to its own.
Okay, to its own. Okay, okay, okay. 3, page 2, number 2. This guy. Okay, little bit more. Own tenants.
Tenants, it committing an error based on the limited point of the view. The principle of Anekantavada also influenced Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi to adopt principles of religious tolerance, ahimsa, and satyagraha.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, doctrines of relativity. Relativity means two things together. Relative means 比較的ね、比較的. If you say this thing is good, maybe there's also no good points. So this is called relativity. If let's say now in the east of the earth now is evening time, then in the west, in the US now is the daytime. This is called relativity. Two things. So anekantavad means that not only one truth, but there are other things. Other things. Okay. Siyavad is the condition prediction. Later on we'll touch on that, and Nayavad partial standpoints. Okay. So Anekantavad, so as you can see, this is the key words: pluralism and multiplicity of viewpoints. Means that many plural means many principles and many viewpoints. There's not only one point. This is called Anekantavad. So so the notion of truth are perceived differently from diverse points of view. Means that when you talk about something, when we discuss about something, you have to talk it from many angle ね。さまざまな角度から検討しなければいけないっていうルールね、説。So this is what it means, and no single point of view is the complete truth. So if you only say something, oh, this is A is A, but no B, no C, no D, then this is not a complete truth. This is what it means by Anekantavad. Not only one truth. Must talk many points. So this is a little bit of the history. So this is the meaning of Anekantavad. So many words there you can choose. So so this is the point here. Anekantavad encourages its adherents to consider the views and the beliefs of their rivals and opposing parties. So they have a very good tolerance. Even though you are opposing their view, let's say the Jain say no, human beings was not made by God. You say human being was made by God. They can also accept your opposing idea, or their rivals. Rival means they are kyogo, competitors, because they view things not only from one angle, so they can take in other people beliefs, other religion beliefs, and other opposing views. Okay, they have a very good tolerance. So they also apply the principle to religion and philosophy. So other religion, other views have different views, or other philosophy have different views on their their saying, they can accept, they can accept. So which clings too dogmatically to its own time. So it is an error to base on limited point of view. So means that if you talk about something, you only see at this angle, you don't see from other angles, then this is not good. This is a mistake according to this Anekandavad philosophy. Okay, so this Anekandavad also influence these Mohandas to adopt. So that's why they have a very good religious tolerance. What you mean by religious tolerance? For example, like maybe like Christianity, when they say, the universe was created by a god. But if you say no, the universe was not created by the god, they cannot tolerate this idea, right? But Jainism, if you oppose them, they can tolerate. This is called religious tolerance. Okay, and also to adopt ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence. Satyagraha. Satya is the truth. Graha is the place of truth, where you store the truth. So this is how they apply this in these things. Okay, next one. Sayadwad. So want to read? Who wants to read? Okay, please come.
Sayadwad. Sayadwad is the theory of conditioned predictions, which provides an expression to Anikant by recommending that the epithet Syada be prefixed to every phrase or expression. Sayadwad is not only an extension of Anikant ontology, but also a separate system of logic capable of standing on its own. The Sanskrit etymological root of the term Syad is perhaps or maybe, but in the context of Sayadwad, it means in some ways or from a perspective. As reality is complex, no single proposition can express the nature of reality fully. Thus, the term Syad should be prefixed before each proposition, giving it a conditioned point of view and thus removing any dogmatic in this statement. Since it ensures that each statement is expressed from 7 different conditional and relative viewpoints or propositions, Syadvad is known as Saptibhangiyanaya, or the theory of 7 conditioned predictions. These 7 propositions, also known as Saptibhangi, are Syad Asti, in some ways it is. Sayad Nasti, in some ways it is not. Sayad asti nasti. In some ways it is and it is not. Sayad asti avakata vyaha. In some ways it is and it is indescribable. Fifth, Syad nasti avakata vyaha. In some ways it is not and it is indescribable. Sixth, Sayad asti nasti avakata vyaha. In some ways it is not, and it is indescribable. Seventh, Sayada avakata vyaha. In some ways it is indescribable. An extraction from www.janewall.com gives an illustration. Consider the tossing of a coin, and suppose it turns up head. We may then say, 1. It is head now. This also implies 2. It is not head on some other occasion. The third category follows without difficulty. Third, it is and it is not, which is a synthetic prediction based on both 1 and 2. The fourth category predicates that the position is still. Fourth, indeterminate. This, however, does not exhaust the possibilities of prediction or modes of knowledge. For example, if we know that it is a coin which has head on one side and not head or tail on the other side, and we also know that it must turn up either head or tail, we may then predicate that 5
Five.
there exists one type of indeterminateness which is capable of being resolved in terms of the first 4 categories. On the other hand, we may know that the subject of discourse is not a coin, but something else to which the category of indetermination in the above sense cannot apply. We may then use the sixth mode of prediction and assert that 6. There does not exist that type of indeterminateness which is capable of being resolved in terms of the first 4 categories. Finally, there is a seventh mode of knowledge where we may be able to predicate that sometimes the possibility of resolution of indetermination exists, as in the fifth mode, and sometimes this possibility does not exist, as in the sixth mode. According to Sayadwada, the above 7 categories are necessary and are also sufficient so that they exhaust the possibility of knowledge. There is a minority view which hold that there are further possibilities of 8. Vaktavyasaka, Avaktavyasaka, a kind of duplicated indeterminateness together with successive categories of the 5th, 6th, and 7th types in an infinite regression. But the accepted opinion is that the hypoethical 8th category is identical with the 4th, so that there is no need of more than 7 categories. It should like to emphasize that the 4th category is a synthesis of 3 basic modes of it is assertion, it is not negation, and inexpressible or indefinite or indeterminate, which itself is resolvable into either it is or it is not, and supplies the logical foundations of the modern concept of probability. Consider the throw of a coin. It has the possibility of head, it is, or not head, it is not. Sometimes head and sometimes not head, and the combination of both possibilities of it is and it is not in an yet indefinite or indeterminate form. The fifth category of knowledge in Jaina logic predicates that the existence of indetermination, which we may perhaps interpret in modern language as the assertion of the existence of a probability field. The sixth category denies the existence of a probability field, while the seventh category covers the whole range of possibilities mentioned in the other 6 categories. Each of these 7 propositions examines the complex and multifaceted nature of reality from a relative point of view of time, space, substance, and mood. To ignore the complexity of a reality is to commit the fallacy of dogmatism.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very long one. Yeah. So, Siadwad means condition prediction. Prediction means that, okay, now you throw a coin. What is the result?
Head.
Oh, maybe 7 results. This is what it means. That's why it is called conditioned prediction. This kind of prediction of the result have condition. Okay, the condition, what are the conditions? There are major 7 of it. So, okay, if you throw a coin, what is the result? It is a head, it is not a head, or in some way it is and it is not a head. Any scenario that you can think of, okay, It is not a head. It's actually examining your what you call your intellectual knowledge of thinking, you know, how many angles you can see for one incident. Usually if you throw a coin, okay, to our human mind, only 1 and 2, right? Correct. If it is not a head, either it is a head or it is not a head, tail or head, right? To the human mind usually. So this to the Jainism, this kind of intellectual knowledge is not enough. It's not enough to, you know, to have the relative viewpoints to talk about one truth. So you must develop your mind for more logical thinking. Okay, so now I'm giving you a test. So when we throw a coin, what is the result? So usually we say it is a head or either it is not a head. What is the scenario of number 3? It is and it is not a head. Can you explain? Now the Jane is testing your brain, your intelligence.
How can I say it's standing?
Yes, standing. Yes, standing. So standing, is it standing a possibility of throwing a coin? When you throw a coin, it must not rest on it. Somehow you throw, it will stand, right? Is it possible? Yeah, this is number 3. So you have to think things in many angles. So if you throw a coin, there's a possibility that for the coin to stand. If the coin stand, then it's number 3. It is and it is not a head. Right? How about number 4? It is and it is indescribable. It is a head and it is an indescribable head. Think. The Jainism want you to think. It tests how smart your brain is. This is their purpose. Can I explain? Cannot think. No idea. Okay, somehow when we throw a coin, when the coin turn, cannot stop, right? Turn, cannot stop. And you see only the head image. Can you see that? But the coin is turning, but you can see the image of the head, right? Possible? This is called, it is a head, but it is an indescribable head. Okay? Possible or not? This result. Possible, right? This is number 4. How about number 5? It is not a head and it is not a describable head.
Turning and we are
Then?
turn and we see the tail part.
Yes, exactly. Smart.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6. How about number 6? It is a head, it is not a head, and it is indescribable.
Sometimes it is turning too fastly and we are seeing the head. Sometimes we are seeing the head and sometimes not head seeing. So it is indescribable.
Yeah, sometimes you see the head when it's turning and sometimes you see the tail, right? So this is number 6. Yeah, you are smart. You got the Jainism brain. How about number 7?
In some ways, it is in this. It is starting too fast, and we can't see anything.
Bingo. Exactly, bingo.
It is spinning too fastly.
Too fast, you cannot see head or tail, right? Yeah, this is number 7. Yeah, so now according to the Jainism, you see all the aspects of one incident. You have all the knowledge. Understand? Yeah, this is what it means. Understand? Good. So this is called condition predictions. When you throw a coin, the result is either one of them. It can be 7 of result. You have to see all the 7 possibilities. Then only you got this what you call their knowledge. This is called the condition predictions. Sappi, 7. Sapti Bhangi. Sapti Bhangi. Naya is the what you call the 大乗症状僕は乗り物をね、導いていく、lead you to the truth, Naya, lead you to the truth. So if you understand this 7, then all this insight you understand. Easy, right? Actually very easy. Just remember the coin scenario that I'm giving you. Then you understand each of their meaning. So 4, all the 7 and the 8. The 8, what is the 8? I think no need to go to the 8. Somebody say 8 is actually number 4. So it's ignorable. Okay, 7, Sapti Bhangi. You have to remember the Sapti Bhangi. Sapti Bhangi Naya. Okay. Whatever it is. Prediction 1, 2, 3, 4. It is not. It is indescribable until number 7. All the 7 are still dogmatism. It's still a dogma. Okay. So it is actually a restricted, religious thinking. Dogma means a restricted religion thinking. So regardless what kind of possibility it is still a dogmatism. Okay, their mind is what you call restricted within this idea. This is called fallacy of dogmatism. Okay. Elephant come out. Okay, who wants to read next? Oh, only one, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, please come. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Shadow order of Saptabhangi Nayar is the most important part of Jaina logic. Shadow order is neither skepticism nor agnosticism. In fact, shadow order is a theory of relativity of knowledge. Every object exists in relation of its form substance. Scope and time and not object exist in relation to the form substance. Scope and time of any other object. Therefore, the knowledge of every object is not absolute but relative. The Jainas insist that the word shadow should necessarily be used before every Nayar. It denotes that the truth of that statement is confined to that particular context, and it may not hold well in other contexts. So according to them, the use of word shall is imperative for rendering judgment flawless and correct. To understand Shadoward better, you can read this story. Elephant and the Blind Man. Once upon a time, there lived 6 blind men in a village. One day, the villagers told them, "Hey, there is an elephant in the village today." They had no idea what an elephant is. They decided, even though we would not be able to see it, let us go and feel it anyway. All of them went where the elephant was. Every one of them touched the elephant. Hey, the elephant is a pillar, said the first man who touched his leg. "Oh no, it is like a rope," said the second man who touched the tail. "Oh no, it is like a thick branch of a tree," said the third man who touched the trunk of the elephant. "It is like a big hard fern," said the fourth man who touched the ear of the elephant. "It is like a huge wall," said the fifth man who touched the belly of the elephant. "It is like a solid pipe," said the sixth man who touched the tusk of the elephant. They began to argue about the elephant, and every one of them insisted that he was right. It looks like they were getting agitated. A wise man was passing by and he saw this. He stopped and asked them, "What is the matter?" They said, "We can't agree to what the elephant is like." Each of them told what he thought the elephant was like. The wise man calmly explained to them, "All of you are right. The reason every one of you is telling it differently because each of you touched a different part of the elephant. So actually the elephant has all those features what you all said." Oh, everyone said. There was no more fight. They felt happy that they were all right. The moral of the story is that there may be some truth to what someone says. Sometimes we can see the truth and sometimes not, because they may have different perspective, which we may not agree to. So rather than arguing like the blind man, we should say, "Maybe you have your reasons." This way we don't get in argument. In Jainism, it is explained that truth can be stated in 7 different ways. So you can see how broad religion is. It teaches us to be tolerant toward others for their viewpoints. This allows us to live in harmony with people of different thinking. This is known as the shadow word, Anekantward, or the theory of manifold predictions.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
very easy to understand, huh? So Syadwad is actually like the blind man touching the elephant, all say one truth, but actually all their answers are correct, even though they are different. So the Jainism has a very wide what you call embracement of different thinking. So Syadwad and Anekanwad means a theory of manifold prediction. You can say many predictions. It is not together. Or also they can accept. This is what it means. The features. Okay, number 7. Okay, a little bit more. Nayavad. Okay, so Nayavad is the theory of partial standpoints and viewpoints. But okay, Nayavad is a compound of two Sanskrit words. Naya, partial viewpoint, and Vad is the school of thought of debate. It is used to arrive at a certain inference from point of view. Okay, an object has infinite aspects to it. Infinite aspect. Okay, many infinity aspects to it. But when we describe an object in practice, we speak of only relevant aspects and ignore the irrelevant ones. So we only talk about something relevant to something, but something not related, we don't talk. This does not deny the other attributes, qualities, modes, and other aspects. So they are just irrelevant from the particular perspective. Authors like Natupai Shah explain Nayavad with the example of a car. For example, when we talk about a blue BMW, we are simply considering the color and the make of the car, right? But our statement does not imply that this car is devoid of other attributes like engine type, cylinder, speed, price, and the like. So this particular viewpoint that the blue BMW is called a Naya or a partial viewpoint. Actually, a car is not only have color, right? The car also have like engine, cylinder, speed, and its price, and so many things. But we only talk about one angle, only one viewpoint on the car, which is the color of the car and the brand, right? So this is called partial viewpoint. Naya. As a type of critical philosophy, Nayavad holds that all philosophical disputes arose out of confusion of standpoints, and the standpoints we adopt are, although we may not realize it. So Nayavad holds that all philosophical dispute mean disagreement, okay, philosophical disagreement, out of the confusion of standpoints. So they adapt, although we may not realize it. The outcome of purposes that we may pursue while operating within the limits of language and seeing the complex of nature of a reality. Mahavira used the language of Nayas. Naya, being a partial expression of truth, enables us to comprehend reality part by part. What does it mean by this? It is trying to say is that the language we use has limitation, okay, but the reality, the truth of the universe is very complex. So whatever you say, you cannot cover all the entire truth. That's why whatever you say is actually a part of it only, partial. So this is called Nayavad. So it means that whatever you say, let's say you say, oh, the car is a BMW and it is blue color. Yes, this is a fact. This is a reality, but only one part of the reality only. You haven't talked about the engine type, the tire, the cylinders, its price, or its performance, how many liter of petrol you can pump in. You haven't talked about it, right? So this is called, what you say just now is just a partial, a partial viewpoint. That's why I call Naya, or a part of the reality. Okay, so this is what it means. Okay, so in this topic, we can see, the way the Jainism talk about, the truth, is very, from many angles. They talk one thing from many angles, and they are very what you call conservative, very what you call they are very mindful of talking. What I'm saying is only part of the truth, and What I don't say doesn't mean that I don't say. You understand? Understand? So that they still have room to argue. Understand? This is the Jainism philosophy. So today we have learned how many philosophy of Jainism? Anekantavad, right?
Saptavangi.
Okay, and what you call the Syadavad, the Saptipangi, okay? Number 3,
Nayavada.
Nayavada. Okay, so okay, explain to me what is Anekantavad. Quiz, test. Who want to try? Anybody can.
Means many points, not one point. Means one perspective and many standpoint.
Okay, good. What is Sadvad?
The theory of conditions,
What are the conditions? How many of them?
7 conditions.
Okay, good. Okay, good. What is Nayavad?
Partial viewpoints.
What do you mean by partial
Partial viewpoints in perspective of
Means example is blue BMW.
Partially we indicate the car.
Means we can see some part or observe or experience some part. We don't experience complete things.
Correct. So from the first Anekantavad until the last Nayavad, what the Jainism is talking about is actually the truth of relativity. This is the keyword, relativity. There's no absolutism. So everything is comparable, relativity. So a blue BMW, only 1 point, right? So a blue BMW is not only one truth. It's not only one truth. It's not absolute answer, but there are many answers. So everything is relatively this idea. Okay, quite good. Hold on, and maybe I would like to give you another extra notes from here. "62 wrong views." 62 wrong views. Chat box. No chat box here. Chat box. Oh, chat box is here. Okay. Chat box. Oh, cannot send. Okay, never mind. Later I'll email to you. So this is just a very quick one, and you can have a read of it. It's actually important also. The 62 wrong views of the all the other externalists. So this is very important. You have to have some idea of it. So 62 wrong views in the Brahmajala Sutta of Dikha Nikaya. 18 speculative theories about the past. Eternal views on self and the world on 4 grounds. Partly eternal views and partly non-eternal views on 4 grounds. Finite views and infinite views on 4 grounds. Endless equivocation ill-wriggling. Okay, this one you have come across the Sanjay, you know, the ill-wriggling skepticism on foreground. So the skepticism is only here. There are a lot more, you know, wrong views, but because too many, so we just study one. Also there are a few more different things. Fatalism on two grounds. 44 ways of speculative theories about future. Okay, so when they talk about the past, there are 18 ways of talking about it. Okay, 4 on eternal, 4 on partial eternal, partial not eternal, 4 on finite and infinite, 4 on endless equation, and 2 fatalism. So altogether 18 ways. 18 ways of talking about the past. And there are 44 ways of talking about the future. What are the 44? The self with consciousness after death, 16 of this kind of views. After dying, what is your consciousness? There are 16 views, 16 theories, okay? And the self without consciousness after death. I mean, after dying, no more consciousness. There are 8 ways, 8 ways of the speculative theories. The self with neither perception or non-perception after dying in the future. 8. Nihilistic views. Nihilistic means you affirm everything. Everything, yes, 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 yes. Nihilistic. 7. Nibbana, here and now. Okay, have 5. So altogether 44, 16, 32, 32. Yeah. Okay. So past view, there are 18 ways of talking about it. Future views, there are 44 talking about it. So 18 plus 44 means 62. So these are the contents of the 62 wrong views. It's a very famous term in Buddhism. Okay, 62 wrong views. And if we talk about, you know, eternal, either eternal or not eternal, or nihilistic or non-nihilistic, if we categorize like that, eternal views have 55, 55. Nihilistic view have 7. So if you categorize like this, you also will get 62. So it depends on how we categorize the contents. Okay. So 18 speculative theories about the past. The first, eternal views for the self and the world by recollecting past existence up to 100,000 okay, 100,000 kalpas, by recollecting up to 10 periods of contraction and expansion, by recollecting up to 40 periods of contraction and expansion by logics. So these are actually by the yogis. They can enter into the jhana, and they see, you know, very past life, very, very long, and at the end they come up with all these kind of eternal views. This is the period, how much they can see in their jhana. Some are not by their yoga, their jhana, some by logical thinking, you know, logical, like the scientists, how they argue. So these first 3 are with the yogis. This is by logical thinkers. So second, eternal views 4, partly eternal and partly not eternal. Okay. First Brahma in the empty Brahma world is eternal and the creator God. This is how they talk about eternal, you know. When the world was created, actually the Brahma and the world is the Brahma is first Brahma empty, world is eternal. Kita Patosical Devas Karata pleasure. Okay, you can have I will email, so you can roughly, you know, go through the thing. I will touch up some important ideas only. So these are the foregrounds on the finite and the infinite, what they are saying about. Okay, and here is the foregrounds on the irregulars. You have come across a little bit, right? So these are the four things. And 2 fatalism. Okay, this is what you would have 2 fatalism. And here is various speculative theories about future. Okay, future 44. Okay, it's the set of the healthy or conscious. It is not. It is blah blah blah, neither wholly happy or unhappy, material, immaterial, both. Okay. Unconscious post-mortem survival of self. Neither. Okay. So I'll email to Rahul, you'll send to the class, and then just have some idea, roughly the idea of it. Okay, good. So with this, I have finished my lecture in this semester, and good luck to your final exam, and happy summer holidays. So I hopefully in the future we have chance to meet in Hachioji or Tokyo in your graduation. Maybe if I'm invited now. Okay. Okay, so okay, let's put our palm together. Buddham saranam gacchami.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Tutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Tutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Tatyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Tatyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay.
Thank you
I
very
hope
much.
we can still see you in near future. So stay in good health, and good luck to your exam.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you very
much.
much.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Have a nice time.
Bye.